4 things you don't want to forget during your cut. Let's jump right into it. The first one is going to be eating more frequently. By this, I mean you should spread out your daily calories into 4 or 5 meals instead of just 3 basic meals. So instead of having breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I would suggest you have breakfast, then a morning snack, then lunch, then an evening snack, and then dinner. This basically gives you a perception of eating more because your brain is stimulated multiple times throughout the day. And because of that, you basically end up feeling as if you're eating more than you should, but your calories are not above your maintenance anyway. So you're still in a deficit. This more frequent stimulation basically helps you to reduce your hunger signaling throughout the day, which in turn will help you to eat lesser calories. Because it's honestly not just about calories, it's also about tricking your brain into having lesser calories so that it doesn't make you more hungry. The next one is swapping foods for lesser calories. By this, what I mean is you need to have lesser calorie dense foods. For example, if you're having bread or wheat based carb sources right now, I highly recommend you swap them for rice because rice is lesser calorie dense than wheat or bread or buns or any other grain based carbohydrate source. And if you're already having rice as the main source of carbohydrates, then I would highly suggest you to switch to boiled potatoes instead, because boiled potatoes are even lesser calorie dense than rice and they're the most satiating food on the planet as well. And this goes for your protein sources too. For example, if you're having lamb or chicken thigh as your main protein source, I would suggest you switch to chicken breast because chicken breast is more leaner, it's got lesser fat content and hence lesser calories. And by swapping, I don't mean you replace the food entirely. So for example, if you're having 150 grams of rice and 50 grams of vegetables with it, slowly you can replace 50 grams of rice for another 50 grams of vegetables. So you'll be having about 100 grams of rice and 100 grams of vegetables. So basically what you're doing is you're filling your stomach the same, but you're having lesser calories because vegetables are lesser calorie dense than rice. Better food choices is one of the most important things to keep in mind during your cut. So don't miss out on this one. The next one is going to be placing most of your carbs around your workout. This tip is super important, especially when you're having very less calories, like 2000 or 1800 calories. Because you're already having so less calories, you don't have any energy to work out. And that usually results in bad workouts. So by placing most of your carbs around your workout, you're basically giving your body the most energy when you need it the most. And that's exactly what you want when you're already having less calories. This can include a pre-workout meal or an intra-workout shake or an immediate post-workout meal, because muscle recovery is very important during your cut. You don't want to lose a ton of muscle with that fat and look malnourished at the end of your cut. So have your carbs around your workouts. The next one is going to be meal prepping, and I know it's very common to meal prep, but I just somehow don't see many people doing it. The main reason why I would recommend you to meal prep is to reduce your decision fatigue, the fatigue that your brain experiences when you need to decide what you're going to eat so that you have enough protein and lesser calories. You know what I mean. Every single day you get up, then you have to think about what you're going to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or when am I going to get the time to cook all of that? What seasoning do I use? All of these things individually might seem like very small decisions, but together they actually tire you up. Because if you're actually serious about your cut, you're already measuring your food every single time, and that also adds to the fatigue. So your aim should be to reduce your mental fatigue as much as possible. If you're not gonna cook a couple of hours in advance, then you at least need to know what you're going to have. You need to know it at least a day in advance. And when you're gonna cook, I suggest you cook for both your lunch and dinner together, because again, you need to save yourself from that redundant process of cooking the same food again. Another thing is, I would highly recommend you to keep your food choices small, about 4 to 5 dishes at tops. Again, that's because you don't want to spend energy and time in deciding what you want to have. You don't need variety in your food. What you need is your macros to be correct. You don't need to have different food every single day. All these influencers that show you these random recipes that apparently they have every day during their fat loss, it's a lie. I'm telling you, behind the scenes, they have the same food every single day. And that's not because because of laziness, it's a strategy. Because once you complete your macros correctly with a certain set of foods, if you keep replicating those foods, you will complete your macros correctly every single day. And that again reduces the mental decision fatigue as well as your chances of not hitting your macros correctly every day. Trust me, bro, just save yourself that mental frustration. Choose 3 to 4 foods at tops and keep rotating them from week to week. If you're actually serious about your fat loss journey and you want to learn how to calculate your maintenance calories, how to reduce your calories, how to track your food, and what to do once you lose enough fat, then I have made a full fat loss guide for you in detail that will teach you exactly whatever I said right now. The link for it will be in the description box below. Check it out, guys. If you're serious about your fat loss phase, then it's definitely worth your time. So these were the 4 things that most people tend to forget during their fat loss or cutting phase. Hope you found this video helpful, and subscribe for more, like, share, whatever for the YouTube algorithm, and I will see you in the next one.